Far within the mountains in Vienna lies one kingdom with two agencies. They share a common hatred for one another and compete to be the best spies there are in the world. The Capulets, known for their agility and swordsmanship, live on the East Mountain. The Montagues, known for their strength and quick thinking, live on the West Mountain. Every winter, they must come to an agreement to share the lake and allow people to cross over into each other's territory. In the Montague estate, Romeo sits by the window, staring off at the lake, waiting for winter to come. His hand slowly reaches up to grip the necklace that his parents gave him on his birthday. His father storms through the door. "We must do something about them," Valentino boomed, scratching his chin. "But what?" He looked over at his son, and his eyes grew wide with an idea. "Son, you will go out at night and break into the Capulets' agency. You shall take your subordinates with you and kill the one known as Juliet." Romeo looks up from the view and walks to his father. "How do you expect me to kill someone I don't even know?" Valentino hands him a picture of Juliet and tells him, "Tonight." Romeo looks down at the blurry photo and nods at his father. Juliet sits on a rock near the lake, clutching the gold chain around her neck, gazing at the moon. Her gaze shifts from Romeo's photo to the dark sky every second. "Why must I kill someone I don't know? This innocent person, the hundreds of innocent people I have killed. It makes no sense to me anymore," she whispers regretfully.
Romeo enters the training room where Benvolio and Mercutio are to be found. "There has been a change in plans, boys," Romeo begins. "Ah, little Romeo, are you forgetting that I still beat you in everything?" Mercutio says, towering over them. "And have you forgotten you are still my subordinate?" Romeo bellowed in the empty room. Mercutio ducks his head in shame. Benvolio stands from the floor and asks, "What is it, Romeo?" Romeo sighs heavily and slumps his shoulders as he tells them of his father's plan. The house of Capulet lies silent in the darkness. All is still as the cold air speeds up and winter soon dawns on both households. Yet Benvolio gave in to Mercutio's cunning plan to defy Romeo and kill Juliet on their own, has snuck out with Mercutio into the dark corners of the night. They break into the Capulet estate.
By then, the Montagues and Capulets have been alerted of the breakage of peace during the winter. "Look at what the cat dragged in, and the fair maiden? Dead," Mercutio announces as he enters the Montague estate carrying the gold in one hand and a gun in the other. Benvolio hides behind him, trying to exclude himself from the situation. Romeo apologizes to his father, mother, and the other spies that had been woken up by the alarm. Everyone goes back to their rooms but the three. "What were you thinking?" Romeo scowls at them. "You put everyone in danger." "How were we supposed to know winter was to come so soon?" Mercutio said with a shrug. "You are to know," Romeo said, barely audible. He looks up at Benvolio and shakes his head disapprovingly. With that, Romeo is gone.
Romeo, not believing anything Mercutio had announced, snuck out into the woods with his gun in hand. Juliet, already hunting down with ones who had broken into her estate, saw the man from the picture her mother had given her years earlier. She hadn't completed the mission back then out of fear of disappointing her parents, but now it was a different story. They had violated the treaty. She tightens the holster at her belt and runs toward him.
They finally meet, guns pointed at each other, ready to fire, arms shaking in uncertainty, and gazes filled with shock. Romeo, expecting to see another woman with a scar lashed across her face, saw a beautiful blonde instead. And Juliet, expecting to see her usual criminal, saw someone handsome. Both their minds seemed connected the moment they thought looks can be deceiving. They held their guns higher and tighter. Romeo breaks their silence. "I don't want this," and throws his gun to the ground. Juliet gapes at him, but does the same without hesitation.
They sit in the woods, talking for what seemed like hours. Both of them want to escape the spy world and live normal lives. No competing, no killing, and no worry. And in those short hours they spent talking on that rock, they fell in love. "We can go, you know," Romeo whispers to Juliet. "I'll follow you to the ends of the world," she says softly in his ear.
They leave their belongings and their loved ones behind and head to the airport where they will fly to the U.S. in hope of freedom. The pilot announces that the plane is having some difficulties. Juliet grips Romeo's hand tighter in hope of landing safely. He looks at her reassuringly and gently kisses her on the cheek. But it wasn't enough. The plane had crashed upon landing in the U.S. Both Romeo and Juliet died in the crash. What was truly beautiful was that when they felt the impact of the crash, their necklaces had come out from under their shirts, and they were still holding hands. Their necklaces, golden and beyond compare, in perfect cursive and connected at each point of a star, read, "Two hearts forever bound as one."